Kennedy and Earlene outdid themselves in this last round of ICSI. For those that don't know, periodically, my best donor mares, meaning the mares that I want to put their embryos into recips and have multiple of their babies per year, we will harvest their oocytes, so their eggs, and then we will do ICSI. So it's similar to IVF. In this last round, we aspirated oocytes from Kennedy, from Earlene, who's hiding behind her, and from Sophie, who's over here looking disgusting. And wouldn't you know, Kennedy, again, was an overachiever. Now, Earlene and Sophie, they didn't give that many oocytes to start off with. They were both close to their end of their cycle. And so they didn't have a lot of small follicles with a ton of oocytes in them. They had larger follicles because they were closer to ovulation. And so we only ended up getting 2 embryos from Earlene, which, mind you, is still amazing. Like, ICSI is rough sometimes, and so 2 embryos from 1 round is still amazing. So that gives us, I believe, 3 total embryos with VS code red going into 2026 breeding season. We might end up breeding her to First Things First as well and doing a regular embryo transfer into a recip. I haven't decided yet, but that's awesome that we have a couple frozen. Unfortunately, Sophie, she did not give us any embryos this time, but that doesn't really mean much to me. You know, I've had mares give a ton of embryos one time and then none the next. It just depends on the time. But then I think Kennedy is coming for the queen title from Beyonce and Trudy. I think she wants the queen broodmare title, because she's close to being my most proven mare on the entire farm. You might be able to consider her my most proven mare on the entire farm. And almost every time we do ICSI, every time, like, we've had the best luck. I think I have over 20 embryos frozen from her now. So it's safe to say she's taking a break. We don't need any more. So this last round, she gave us 33 oocytes to just start with. So we were like, okay, that's a lot. Let's go ahead and split it up between 2 stallions. So we used RL Best of Sudden as one of them because that's her most proven cross. That is the sire of my young stallion, First Things First. And with him being so successful at the moment, we were like, we need some full siblings, right? So 5 RL Best of Sudden embryos, and then the day that she gave us so many oocytes, I had to find a second stallion. And I was like, let's try somebody different. And I've been dying to breed one of my mares to It's a Southern Thing. And I had previously purchased a breeding to him and I hadn't used it yet. And so I called Amy and I was like, hey, I really need to use my breeding in a different way. Can I get a different contract? And does he have semen at Equa Embryo? And she said yes. So we got that all figured out really quickly. And so we now have 4 Kennedy It's a Southern Thing embryos. So I will definitely be using one of those this coming breeding season. Super excited for that cross. She has never been bred to It's a Southern Thing. And sadly, he is now deceased. So those breedings are limited. He is fortunately grandfathered in to where he's not on a time limit to be bred to because he was born prior to 2015. But, you know, frozen semen is limited and you can't get more of it. So we're super happy for our 2 Earlene embryos, super happy for our 9 more Kennedy embryos. If we do any more aspirations this year, Kennedy and Trudy, they outdid themselves. They are taking a break. Let me know if you have any questions about that. This coming breeding season should be super exciting. I don't know, there's something about my pretty mares out here with a bunch of cows behind them that is just making me so happy. It is such a pretty sight. So again, let me know if you have any questions and hope you enjoyed.